Well, good evening, everybody. This is just my 2 cents worth. Wanted to talk again a little bit more about us being as a nation betrayed. And I truly do believe we've been betrayed at the highest levels. Now, I'm still not ready to throw Donald Trump completely under the bus, but I kind of wonder, and this is just for food for thought, you ever stop to think that maybe Trump was put in here because they wouldn't have been able to get away with what they've gotten away with if they had put Hillary Clinton? Heck, if they put Hillary Clinton in, then the people, or they did what they did with this lockdown and this virus, the people would have been up in arms. But people just blindly go along. I've had people that claim to be patriots just quote, well, it's for our own good, it's for our best. And that, you can use that excuse for anything. I mean, for crying out loud, they've locked up the economy, crashed the economy, say 30% unemployment. I heard today that best case scenario, even when they open it up here, I think that sometime this week, that you're looking at 5 to 8 years before our economy can recover, best case scenario. So things are going to continue to be bad and get worse. You got a food shortage coming up, largely, I think, manufactured. And I say manufactured because they killed the supply chain or broke the supply chain. You've got plenty of food, but they left it sit to rot or plowed it back under because they couldn't process it. You got supposedly a lot of livestock that are going to be euthanized, for a polite way to put it, and that's not going to get into the food chain. That's just going to go get dug or put into a mass grave and put under the dirt. There's some farmers that are, instead of doing that, are now selling it to the public, which is a great idea. I think people should buy local as much as they can. But anyway, I just wanted to point out this whole woohoo flu is a bunch of crock of hoo-hoo. And I'm not saying that there isn't some kind of virus, but I think it's a manufactured virus. And I truly believe it was deliberately released by China. I heard today now from a guy that was at the SHOT Show here the last, good grief, I think it was late fall, that right after the SHOT Show, which is the largest outdoor manufacturing shooting stuff display convention thing in the world, and there's like 8,000 vendors or something like that in this thing, and a lot of the people came back with the same symptoms as the woohoo flu. So they deliberately set this off. They didn't say, even if you don't go with they set it off, they hid it. They hid it for I think it was like 2 months they hid this information. That during the Chinese New Year they released this, and then something like 1 million people took off from China going worldwide, and many people were caught carrying biological stuff in vials. So this was put out for a reason. Is it a precursor to a war with China? God, I hope not. But speaking of war, I also wanted to speak on that for a while. Now, if we got into a war with China, a lot of people think that, oh, we'll just kick their butt because they do have a lot of old technology. But if it's a protracted war, we ain't going to win. Because you got to remember, even though we've got far superior military, far superior weapons, that a lot of our stuff is made in China. The parts for the Abrams tanks that we have are made in China. The parts for the airplanes. So yes, in a Mike Tyson type fight, if it's quick, we're going to kick their butts because their Navy is old, their military weaponry, a lot of it's decades old. But you got to remember, China's got 1.34 billion people with a military with a military that's twice the size of ours. So if it gets into a protracted, dragged out fight, we lose. Another way China could take us out overnight is to just dump the dollar. They're one of the biggest holders of our national debt. Well, if they suddenly say they don't have any confidence, excuse me, in our dollar anymore and dump it, yes, they would be hurt, and they would be hurt hard. But it would cripple us, because instantaneous, the dollar would be worthless and we'd be Zimbabwe. Another way they could take us down is our infrastructure, the electricity. I'm sitting here in the parking lot of the post office and I see these yard lights all over the place. Here in Memphis, Tennessee, which is one of the worst, doggone, most violent cities there is. Well, imagine this if China, who's got the supplier to the electric companies for their computer stuff, suddenly throws a switch, and there are back doors. You can talk to anybody that develops software. There's always back doors. They can throw a switch, say something, like that Stuxnet virus that us and Israel did to Iran to take out their centrifuges. Say they release something like that in electric plants, and all of a sudden we're in the dark. Thank God our vehicles will work until you run out of gas, because without electricity you ain't pumping gas. But anyway, just think, whether it's here in Memphis, St. Louis, Dallas, Chicago, you shut off the power, those places will be no-go zone, war zones within 24 hours. So, I just wanted to give you my 2 cents worth. I think we've been portrayed, I know we've been portrayed, because even if Trump isn't in on it, he keeps himself surrounded by the deep state. Now, Roy Potter keeps talking about where he can do things, and yes, he can do things under Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, also the Insurrection Act. But think about it logically. He's surrounded by Secret Service police, deep state, 24 hours a day. For crying out loud, he can't even go into the John and take a crap without the doggone Secret Service going in there first. So if Donald Trump wants to suddenly do something, which I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, I truly do believe he loves our country. But if he wants to do something, that message will never get out, because if he calls a press conference, well, you got all these TV cameras taking video of them, that's not going to make it to it. And as soon as he opens his mouth to call a call to arms under the Insurrection Act to the state's militias, he's going to suddenly be declared mentally incompetent and whatever. Secret Service is going to tackle him. They're going to lock him up in a straitjacket in a rubber room. So we're on our own, people. We are truly on our own. So keep preparing. And as the old saying goes, keep your powder dry, your guns pointed in the right direction, keep your eyes moving, situational awareness all the time, keep your head on a swivel. Keep safe, people, keep preparing.